Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our seventh day of the 14 days data science workshop. So I see that we are not so many here. So I would like to ask: is there anyone using Mac OS here?
No, I'm using Windows.
If everyone here um has Windows operating system, then I think it's better I just continue with the last part I wanted to do, and then when there are people who join later, then I would explain how to install Jupyter Notebook, because if there's no one using Mac OS here, I think it's okay. But since it's being recorded, I think then it's fine. Um, for to install Jupyter Notebook in my laptop, it was like quite easy. So you just go to, if you have a Mac OS, a Mac operating system, you just go to um, Python's website and download Python 3.12, and then you you install it when you have the file downloaded in like your laptop. And I think I didn't even have to copy to path when installing. It just there's just the like the option of installing, and I installed it. And then after that, you open the terminal on your laptop, and then you type pip install Jupyter. And then um, after the download has been completed, to launch Jupyter Notebook, you just type Jupyter Notebook, and yeah, it should open on your browser. So there were some people that sent me private messages, messages in private, saying that Jupyter Notebook wasn't opening, even though like they didn't have problem with installing Python. So I don't know. I think each person perhaps has a different problem, and I think maybe we could schedule different meetings with them to see how we could correct that. But like what I just explained is like the normal method to install Python, Jupyter Notebook in your system. So okay, I forgot to open. I have one last thing to do. I think it will take us maybe some 20 minutes, and then I hand over to my colleague who will handle like the rest of the presentations to the end of the workshop. Let's see. Let me. Okay. Is there any question from what we did yesterday? If you have a question, please raise your hands. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so I kind of made like some I kind of made like a summary of what I want to do today. So let us assume this is not exactly what I'm going to have in what I will be doing today, but let us assume that we have like some data that looks like this. Like we have names of people and then their gender and then the state they're from and then their age. And maybe for some reason we ask if they're married or not. So assuming maybe they were asked to fill it in by themselves, and or I don't know, assuming for some reason this was what we had like after getting everyone's information. So if you look at the first column where we have names, there's no problem with that. But if you look at the second column, there are cells that are empty. And okay, for instance, the first person, Aisha, filled her gender as female, but Aya and Amma filled their genders as FF. And then Habib wrote male all in uppercase. And Ade had like a mix of lower and uppercase. And then Bola put M as his gender. So remember I told you, I think I told you Python is case sensitive. So if you are to put this data directly in your machine and you want to do, if you are to read this like data directly in Python and maybe you wanted to do some analysis or something, then it would regard this male that is in like, that starts with an uppercase M, but with like lowercase ALE. You regard this as different from the one with all the letters as uppercase. So we have to correct this. So if you check the column for the state also, there's some empty cells. And then if you check the ages, there are ages that are written in numbers, and then some are written in letters, and there is even like a wrong spelling of 23 for the last column. And then if you look at two ages, they're inconsistent with what a normal age should be. No one can be 500 or 1000 years old. And if you look at the last column also, you see that the nose and the years are written in different formats, and one person even just wrote married, which is supposed to be yes. So in order to clean this data, first we would need to convert all the ages written in words to numbers. And so so we have 15, 20, and 23. And then then we're also going to remove this 1,500 because it doesn't make sense. So in some situations, in this particular situation, I'm assuming I'm using median, but it's not always like that. It could be mean, it could be replace it with maybe the most the age that appears the most. So the median of, so I checked like the median of the remaining ages, and then after taking the median, I found the median to be 23. That is the middle number. And yes, so I replaced 1,500 with 23. And then if you look at this, all the years, I represented them in like a uniform format, same thing for the nose. And for the cell we have married, I changed it to yes too. And then if you look at the males and females, oh, sorry, I made a mistake. This is supposed to be female like this. So all the males and females are now written in the same. Okay, I think I hadn't made the change here. It was in this last cell that all of the males and females are written like in the same format. And then for the locations, I replaced like the people that did not have locations in their locations filled in. I replaced it with unknown, for example. And then I removed this column because, okay, I felt too many information were missing. There's like a wrong age, and then no state, and then no gender. So in some cases, you could like just remove a row, but it depends on what you're doing. So if you look at this last table, it looks like really uniform, and it's something you can now work with. Like if you work with this, you get like a better analysis than if you work with this data that is unclean. So this is like an unclean data, and then it's cleaned here. So this is just a summary of what I'd like to do. So let us quickly, because I have 30 minutes. So we start with importing NumPy as NP and then pandas as PD. And then this statement here is used to load a CSV file, pd.read CSV, and then you put the name of the file. But before you can load a file in your Python notebook, in your Jupyter notebook, you have to first save the file you need to upload in the same folder as the notebook you want to read the file. It has to be in the same folder. Otherwise, I think if it's not in the same folder, you would have to get like the full path, the full file path in full. But if they're in the same folder, you just put the name of where's that? Yeah, the name of the file, and yes, data.info. This is used to get information about the about your data. Yes. So after
Sorry,
reading
please. Can you please go back to that to your dial of file? So I want to see like where it was saved.
here,
Okay, on your file explorer, you will save it directly under that. Uh,
no file, you should upload it here. Upload, and then when you want to upload, for instance, if you have let me see, if you have, like, for instance, another folder here, you could first
okay.
open this folder, then you upload it here.
Oh, okay, okay.
But otherwise, like, you could choose maybe any of these folders, or you could go to your files and then open a new folder. I'm not sure. I don't know how to open a new folder yet on this, but you could, like, open a new folder on your
File explorer.
yes, on your file explorer, and then you would see it here. And then when you see your the folder, then you click on the folder you want, and then you upload the CSV, the file you want to use in your code. So, but ideally, like, it's better if you have the file and your Jupyter notebook in the same folder. Then
Okay.
yes, then you can just read the file with, yes, this way. Otherwise, I think you have to get, like, the full, like, file path.
The full path of the file.
Yeah, the full path, where exactly it's located in your file explorer.
Okay.
So data.info, this is to get information about what the data contains. So as we can see here, it has 7 columns: product ID, category, animal size, price, sales, rating, and repeat purchase. And then we can see we have 1,500 rows in we have 1,500 entries in this column. Same thing for this. And then it's only this row that we have only 1,350 entries. And we can see the types. So the types we have on this column, they're integers. On this columns, we have objects, and then we have floats on these 2 columns, and then we have integers here. And then then the next thing we are going to do is to view, like, the first 10 rows of the data frame. And this is the statement that is used to do that. Your data frame dot head, and then you could decide not to put anything here. If you don't put anything, then the default amount of rows that is being displayed for you is 5. But if you want more than 5, you could put the amount you want. So I put 10 here. So you can see I have 10 rows from 0 to 9, and these are my columns. So if you look at the columns, we have, like, a problem similar to what I just explained in my notepad. So if you look at this row with column, sorry, with column size, you see that some medium are written in uppercase, some in lowercase. Same thing for the small and the large too. So, like, there are a lot of these inconsistencies on this um column. Then we see the price column, the sales, rating, and repeat purchase. Yeah, but it looks like the data doesn't really have much problem from this first 10 rows, but yes, that could be misleading since we have 1,500 rows. So next thing is to check yeah, although we could have just concluded from here that this is the row that has it has like about 150 null objects. Yeah, but I also check here that how many, this is used to check the rows with none, and then this function now is used to sum all of the rows with none in each column. So this shows that product ID has complete, like all the rows are filled. There are no none values. None values are like null values, no value in that row. And then rating has 150 none values. And yes, the next thing is now to we shouldn't only look out for none values. There could also be inconsistent values. Like for instance, if you look at this column, like it's a column for animals, but there could be one column with there could be on this column like one of the entries could be maybe plates or house, which doesn't make sense. So that was the reason why here okay, it was a good idea to check how many unique elements do we have in each row to see where we can list them and see what the unique elements are. So this is the command used to check for unique elements in a column, because in a data frame, if you have a data frame, here we have data. So if we put something like data, and then we do like this, and then we put this, and then we put price, then this is this is like a pandas series, and it's just like one column. Yes, you see what it is. So it's just like the column price. Yeah, this is the index, and then this is the price. So yes, so yeah, what we did here is to list for every column in for any okay, if you look at here, you see for C in data. So this means for every column in the data frame, which I named data, we want to find the length of the unique elements in that column, and then this is a dictionary, sorry, and the key is the column, and the values are the length of the keys are the columns, and the values are the length of the amount of unique elements we have in the column. So you see, for product ID, we have 1,500 unique elements. For category, we have 7, animal 4, 9. So this is all we have for all the columns. And yes, data one now is drop product ID, price, and sales. The reason for dropping this is they have like so many elements. So it would be like chaotic to analyze like these columns together with the other columns that have only few unique elements. And this command is used to list the unique elements in each column. So it's a dictionary. The keys are the columns. And then if you look here, we no longer have length. We just have data one of C.unique. So we are listing them now. So we don't have the length because we are not looking, we don't want to see the length. We want to see the unique elements. And yeah, so yeah, yes, and then we have data one here because data one is the data with these columns already dropped. And then yes, when you use data.drop, if you put axis is 0, then it means you're dropping along the rows. And then if you put axis 1, it means you're dropping along the columns. So yeah, so here we have category. So the unique element in category is food, housing, medicine, toys, equipment, accessory, and dash. So you see, this is a problem. This like, what's dash? So we need to change this. And then in animals, we don't have any problem. We have bird, dog, cat, and fish. So we don't have any other entry on the animal column that isn't an animal. And then for the size, makes sense, all are large, small, and medium. And then for the rating, we have 1 to 9, and then we have the non-values. And then repeat purchase, we have 1 and 0 are the unique elements. So here what was done here was to get like the rows in the column category that have their entries as dash. So data of category is equal to dash. So this is like a Boolean, it's like a Boolean array. And then, okay, when you put data of a Boolean array, it gives you back the data, but only the rows where this Boolean array is true. So it only gives us it gives us back like the rows where the column category is equal to this dash, and then that index is used to get the so that index is used to get the indices of those rows. So this IND is just like I think it should be an array. I think containing it should be an array. I think containing indices. And yes, so data.log. This log is used to extract rows or columns in a data frame. So IND means we want to extract these rows, and then but only in the column category, and then we want to equate those values to unknown. So we want to replace all the rows we have dash. We want to replace the dash with unknown, and then yes, the next thing here was to view like to count all of the values in each category, like in the equipment category, food, toys, medicine, housing, accessory, and unknown, and we can see how many entries we have for each category. And yeah, so the function we use to count is value counts. And then for data frame, this is one way you could plot a data frame. You just put your data frame and then dot plot, and then you put the kind of graph you want. But yes, depending on like there's some types of graphs that are not consistent with some kind of like for instance, bar graph is used for categorical variables. So you have to select a column with categorical variables before you can do a bar graph. Yes, and then here is prices to see the unique elements. So analyze this alone, and then we can see unlisted here. So unlisted doesn't make sense. So we got the indices of all the rows with unlisted, and then next thing was to drop all those rows with the index being unlisted, and then this was used to convert you know, it was an object before, so we had to convert the numbers in this row into floats and then find their median, because if they're strings, you can't find their median. So found their median, and then we now replaced the value for the row with unlisted with this median value. And then, yes, the next thing was to, next thing was to, we did this for rating here. These two lines was used to drop the rows with null values. And no, this one was used to extract the index of rows with null values and then replace those rows with null values. We replace them with 0. And this is another simple command you can use, .fill NA, and then you put the value you want to replace the null values with, and then you put the column you want to do the replacement. The next is matplotlib and seaborn. It was to plot to do a count plot of the column repeat purchase. That's to see how many, like at this point, the data is already clean. At this point, there's no longer any inconsistency. So the next thing is visualization. So so here, this graph was used to visualize like how many products do we have on repeat purchase or not. Remember, on that column, we only have values 0 and 1. So we counted how many do we have for 0 and how many do we have for 1. And then the next thing was to find the distribution of sales. Yeah, we used a histogram here because it's not like a categorical variable, and histogram is usually used to find the distribution of a variable. So yes, I think I would just stop here because of time. Because yeah, my colleague also has to do a lot to do. Yeah, but I'll send you the whole notebook, and you see like how the other plots were made: the box plots, the pie chart, and then scatter plots. Yeah, they're not so difficult. Yes, so I think that's what I wanted to do for today. Do you have any question? Maybe 1-2
Hello.
minutes before he takes over.
Hello.
Hello?
Please, while sending if you want to send this thing, the file, please try to add more comments. Then try to add more comments.
Okay.
Try to add comment the way you did for the one you sent yesterday.
Okay. It's fine. I'll add comments before sending it.
Okay, and also the data, the file, the
Okay.
CSV file.
Yes, I'll send it too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I can see one hand raised.
Yeah, good evening. My question is with regards to before you started cleaning the data, where the
Okay.
data type were being stated, I noticed some digit 64. I don't know if you can share the screen again, sorry.
Here?
Yes, close to that integer or float, I was noticing some digit 64. Sorry, I don't know what's the use of that.
Yeah, usually when you view the type of an integer or float, it's usually in 32 or 64. But to be honest, I don't know the difference. Probably my colleague could answer you about that. Yeah, but it's usually either 32 or 64. I think it kind of depends on maybe I don't know, but yeah. I don't know if he can hear us, Yusuf. Maybe you could say something about that.
And please, you did. There is one. There's one thing you did before you import the data to the Jupyter notebook. While you showed that one in your notebook, how did you like that mini cleaning you did? Like you replace the empty column with unknown
This
with
one.
you. Yes.
Okay. No, this was I just typed this. I just did it. It didn't have anything to do with code. It was just something simple. I just like typed it like, how do I say? I just like put the tables and typed it myself just to show you how a dirty data looks like and how it can look like after being cleaned. It didn't have anything to do
Okay.
with the Python.
Sorry, please, I'm
It
also
means
seeing
I
data type
can
as
import the
object.
data raw, then clean it the way you are using Python to clean it.
Yes, you import the raw data like here, and then you clean it with you clean it like something in a similar manner as we did here. You try to look for
Okay.
values that rows empty maybe rows or columns. You try to look for
Then you replace
inconsistent
them with
values.
some values.
Yes, you replace them. Yes. At times, like what you replace them with sometimes depends on maybe the distribution of what you're using, or the person you're working for at times might say, okay, replace it with the mean or the median or zeros. It could like, there's so many different ways to replace the values. This is just one instance. Yeah, and like it
Okay.
depends on a whole lot of things too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please, I'm seeing data type as object.
Yeah.
Okay, let me talk on that. Let me just explain that. Okay, so int 16 or float, sorry, int 32 or float 32. That means in the data set, there are some the value that is stored in that particular column or in that particular row is is 32. Like there's in 32, there's in 64, there's in 16. So the variable stored inside that particular row determines the value of int it will be. So in that particular float, that means we have variable stored of int 64 or float 34 or float 64 rather. So depending on the variable stored, I mean the value stored, like if you have let's say you have it's just like you having 100 tens and units, sure you get. So the value stored in that particular row or column determines the int value that will be produced out. Same thing to float. But objects, that means you have like some columns there that contains categorical values. So that means it will determine the objects too. So do we get? Do we
Sorry,
understand?
categorical values are they values that can be categorized based on certain criteria?
Yes, like probably I think I'm seeing is it fish or something? I'm seeing something like related to categorical is just like
Let
maybe
me
you
share.
have okay
Something
share.
that things that can be grouped.
Yes, something that can be grouped. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, something like category, like the food, the housing, the medicine. Those are categorical data. They are categorized. Like food, you can have a lot of values. Like you can have a lot of times food appear in zero now. Yeah, in that row. You can have numbers of times food appear. Same thing to medicine, same thing to housing. So those are categorical data.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So I'll be taking over from her like this. So I have a lot of messages also from my personal chat regarding how to launch the Jupyter notebook. So for Windows, all you have to do is you go to python.org, you download any Python version of your choice. I used to recommend Python 3.10.0, but any version is okay. So when you download it, before you install the Python, you copy to path. You copy to path first, then you now install it. Then after installing, you go to your search bar, you search for CMD command prompt. Then from the command prompt, you make sure your system is connected to internet. Then you now type pip install Jupyter. So when you install it, I'll be showing how to launch the Jupyter as a local host on your Windows system. So let me share my screen. So okay, so can everyone access my screen now? Can everyone see my screen? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you go to the file explorer, sorry, to file explorer, yeah. And once you open your file explorer, you come to your system name. My system name is ASA. I come to my system name, then you come to users. So when you click on users, from here you look for your default name. Default name is when you on your system, the name is display when you on your system before you input the password or before you enter any value. So my default name is SBM coded, and I'm going to click on it. Then from here, some people you can access your app data directly, but yeah, I cannot access it. So I'll just come to my search bar here. And I come to my search bar, I'll click on app data. So this is app data. I'll click on it. Then when I click on the app data, it will show me a lot. So I can pick on anyone. I'll just click on it like this, then right click, then right click. Then after I right click, I'll come to open file location. Then when I open file location, I will come back to this particular local. Yeah, I'll come to local. Then from there, I'll look for programs. Then from programs, you can access. Some people you have a lot of things. Probably you have we are using VS Code, Microsoft something. You have a lot, but you look for Python that you download. And from Python, it will show you the version of Python you have. It might be Python 3.12, Python 3.10, Python 3, any version of Python, you see it. And when you click on it, you can look for scripts. This is script. When you click on script, then you can now come to the to the upper place here, then you can click on everything and type CMD again. And when you enter, you can just type Jupyter notebook. So you can see it will come up like a local host. Can everyone see my screen? Sorry, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to come up, it's loading. Okay, so here I have my notebook now. This is my notebook. So basically, I don't have anything now. So let's say I want to open a new notebook. I can come here, notebook. So I have a new notebook like this. Sorry, it's loading. So here is my notebook. So sorry, still loading. Okay, so from this I can select. Okay, I'm using Python 3, then py kernel. Yeah, I can say select. Then when I select, first of all, before you start any work, you can see untitled there. You can save it with anything you like, but I would love to save mine as data science workshop. Data science workshop practical one, PR1. So I can save it like this, then I'll just rename it. I'll click on rename. Then you can see the name has changed already to data science workshop PR1. So first of all, let's say I'm writing a code and I'm done with the code. I can come to file here. Maybe I want to save it or I want to download it. You can download it directly, or maybe I want to save the notebook as Python file. I'll just save it like this. Or maybe let me see, maybe I want to save it as HTML file. I think there's a way to save it. So you can, if you want to save it as HTML, like as what do they call it, PDF, whatever, everything is here, markdown, Qt PDF. You can save it as anything you want. So when you have a notebook like this, before you start um any um any data analytics or machine learning or data science work, what you need to do first is you need to like import some standard libraries. Standard libraries like libraries used to clean your data. Standard libraries like Python, like pandas, like NumPy, Matplotlib, or Seaborn. So all these packages you need, it is needed, because without them you can't clean your data, you can't call up your data set or whatsoever. So first of all, you can make comments like this. Probably you want to make, you can come here, come to this where is it? You can come to this place, code. You can click on markdown. Yeah, markdown will allow you to make your comments bold. So let's say I want to say loading packages. Let's say I want to load packages. I can run this part now. This markdown, I can run it now. You can see loading packages. So it will make it bold or make it like a written word that you'll be wondering how it is being done. So that's how to do it. So I can now say, okay, if you are just opening this library, this Jupyter notebook for the first time, you will need to do some importation. Like first of all, you need to say, okay, I will make the importation as comment because I already have it installed on my system. So you first say, you can use exclamation mark, or you can just say pip install, let's say pandas. My other colleagues have done this, but for recap sake, I'll just do it pandas. Then you can also do another one like all these standard libraries first. Pip install matplotlib, matplotlib, or you can, then the other one is, sorry, it's comment, so it will definitely run. I can say pip install numpy. I can say pip install Seaborn. So when you have all these library installed, when you have them, they are standard libraries you will need before you can make any data cleaning. And there are five data cleaning methods. I will do it along the line, maybe this class or probably the next one. So what we need to do here is, okay, we coming. Okay, so what we need to do here is, when you have all these packages installed, we can now say, okay, can say import pandas as PD. Okay, why do we save pandas as PDs? Because when you're writing a code and you need to reference pandas, it is very difficult as a programmer to be saying pandas. So the short form of pandas, you can just say PD. So when you say PD, automatically your system understand that, okay, what you're trying to say is, I'm trying to import panda, I'm trying to call pandas. Or you can also do the other one, import numpy as np. Why do we save it as NP? Because when you are referencing NumPy, as a programmer, you don't need to be shouting NumPy. You can just say NP. Then also you have import Seaborn as SNS. So you save it as these two. Then you can say import matplotlib, matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. Okay, so this allow you to plot different kind of graphs. So I'll be telling you what each package does, like saying, okay, pandas, I'm putting as comment, pandas used for reading, data sets, used for reading the data set. NumPy, maybe you have numbers in array, and you're working with any numerical value in array. Okay, numbers in array, in array, in array. I hope everybody can hear me. Hello, hello.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes, we
you.
can hear you. Dropped the
Okay,
attendance.
okay. So she has dropped the attendance. Please sign the attendance. So we have Seaborn and Matplotlib. They are like brothers and sister. So you use both for visualization. So Seaborn, I'll just merge the two together. Seaborn and Matplotlib are used for visualization. So these are what each library does. So basically, you can see that the four libraries, you cannot escape it because you use it for data analytics. Before you can now say, okay, you want to use some other libraries to make data science. So then you can now say, okay, you are doing data science work. So now if I run this now, you can see, you see a star here, a star beside it. So that means the code is running. So once I have an output here, that means the code is done. But you can see a star here, so that definitely my code is running.
You see that numbers in area. I don't understand.
Numbers in array, like, yeah, let's say something like matrix. You get, you get.
Okay, yeah.
We'll still make use of numpy. When we get there, you understand what number is do, what number it does. We'll still get there, just let's follow. So now I'm done with the libraries I want to use for data cleaning, data analytics part. So what did I want to do now? I want to make use of one particular data set. I'll send the data set to the WhatsApp group. Now let me just try and send it first. Let me see if I can send it now. Let me see. Let me stop sharing first so that I can send it. Let me stop sharing first. Stop sharing first. So I'll be making use of the data set for this. I'm coming. I'm coming, sorry. Okay, so I've dropped the data set already. It's still loading. Probably the network is still loading. Okay, network issue. Let me retry it. Okay, I've dropped the data set already on the WhatsApp group. Can everybody see the data set now? Okay, so I'll share my screen back. Okay, so please can everybody access the data set on the group? Please, can we hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I said, can everybody access the data set on the group?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's on the group.
Okay, so now I'll be opening the data set with Excel first. Where's the data set? I'll be opening the data set first with Excel. Okay, where's the data set? Okay, it's on my download. Okay. I'll be opening the data set first with Excel. Okay, so this data set back is art data set is trying to predict art disease, like whether there's art disease or no art disease. So it's trying to predict. So now this kind of data set, now if I just give it to a layman now that okay, take this data set, go and determine this value for me, it will be so difficult for the person to say, okay,
Sorry,
I want
are you sharing your screen?
yes I am.
I can't see
Can
your
you
screen. I don't know if I'm the only one who can see your screen.
It's also
I can
blank.
see the screen too.
okay, let me stop
I
sharing.
can't see your screen.
Let me stop sharing. Okay, I'm coming. Can we see my screen now? Can we see my screen?
Affirm.
Yeah?
Affirmative.
I cannot hear you. Can we see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
No.
Please, are you using phone? If you are using phone, I think you just have to like check very well so that you can see my screen. But if you are using your system, you should see my screen.
Affirmative.
I can't hear you.
Yes, I can see your screen.
You can see my screen now.
Yeah.
See your screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so this is Excel. So if this data set is given to someone to work with, it will take a lot of time. Like it will really take a lot of time before the person gets the actual result from this kind of data set. Because look at the values is a large data set. It's a very large data set. So now, how will I now say, okay, I want to push data sets to my Jupyter notebook? I want to plug my system. Okay. So I can say, okay, I'll come here, like my other colleagues have said, I'll go back to home. Yeah. I'll go back to home here. Okay, I'll go back to home. Sorry. Okay. So from here I can upload. So when I come here and I'll check where the file is on my system. Okay, the file is on my download. So it's inside this place, inside this folder. So this is it. I can just click here, then I will open. Then once you open, it will automatically upload. So can you see this place? You see art.csv. So now, if you want to load this particular dataset or how to code dataset, first of all, you can say you can have a variable name. Variable name is any name you choose to save your data with. For example, I choose to save the data set with df. Df equals, you now call pandas. I cannot say pandas again. I already have a short form of calling pandas, which is pd dot. what you want to do is you want to read a particular data set. So you say read. So when you say read underscore, let's say, okay, let me go to the data set now. Let me go back to where the data set is. So this is the data. Okay, sorry. This is the data set. So this is data set. From this data set, I will right click. I will now go to properties of that data set. Can we see? Is everybody seeing my screen? So I will now go to properties. Then I will see the name they use and save this file. You can see it save as CSV file and the data set is art. So I can just strictly say, let me copy this, Control C. Then when I copy it, since it's saved as, I can go back to my account and see, okay, I'm reading a CSV file, which is CSV into bracket. Then I can say, since the data set is art, I already copied it. I can say Control V dot, what is that particular data set? Is it an Excel file or a CSV file? Since it's a CSV, I can say CSV. Okay, then I'll close it. Okay, let's imagine the data set is an Excel file. Instead of them calling it CSV, it will be, let me put it as a comment, it will be XLX file. So how do you call this type of file? I can say, okay, let me give it, it's just a comment now. I can say df equals pd dot read. So XLX file is an Excel file underscore. I can say Excel. Do you get? Then open brackets. Let me say at dot XLX file. So this is the two type of data sets you call when you are using Excel file. There are some other one like JSON, like when mining, tweeting data sets, like image data sets, and so on and so forth. But strictly in this workshop, we're just going to work with these two type of data sets. So the first one we are working with is a CSV file. Later on, we'll work with an XLX file. So I'm just showing us how to like call the two different type of data sets in case you have something like that. So I'm cleaning this. So now I have the data set now, which is this. I can run it again. I can run it. I can say, okay, run. Either you click on this run or you click on shift and enter. Both of them work. So now what I want to do now is after I load, so from here I can say I can create a new notebook. Can you see? I can create a new notebook like this and say, okay, I want to make a markdown. Sorry, I want to make a markdown so that, okay, yeah, I'll come here, then I'll make a markdown. Then from here I can now say loading or reading the data sets. Then I can run it. Can you see? So when I have that, okay, loading or reading the data set. Now, what I want to do is, okay, let me see the data set I call. You know, this is the Excel, this is the way it is in Excel. Let me see how Jupyter Notebook will give me that kind of data set. Obviously, Jupyter Notebook cannot give you everything. Yes, it will not give you everything, but there's a way you can say it by saying, okay, now I don't need to be saying pd.read underscore csv at.csv, since everything is already saved in a variable name. So I can, let me put it as comment, my variable name, variable name is df. So variable name, everybody know what variable name is. Variable name is the name you choose and save your data set with. So my variable name is df. So now I can say my variable name, which is df dot head. Head means you want to see, is that you check the first 5 or the first 10 rows of your data set. I can say I want to check the first 10. Don't forget, Python starts from 0. So I'm only going to 0 to 9. So let me run it now. I can run it now. So what do we see? You see 0 to 9. So that means Python starts its counting from 0 to what? To particular value. So now when I'm starting from, when I say the first 10 rows, so it's going to show me from 0 to 9. Do we get? So now this kind of data sets now, let's say I want to check the tail also. I want to check the tail of this. I can also do the same thing by saying we can also do the same thing by saying dot u, then also check the 10, right? then you can run it again. Can you see? So that means the data set contains 1024 rows. So now you see we have a very large data set, and it will be so difficult for someone to say, okay, I want to work on it on my own, I want to work on it. That's why we have all these software that can assist you to work on it. So basically this software acting like human rather. As I said, data science is being categorized under artificial intelligence. So whereby your system reason the way you want, the way you reason. So now after this, now I can now say, okay, let me make a markdown again. Let me make a markdown again. Yeah, by saying I can say data cleaning. Okay, I can run this now. So data cleaning. So there are some five principles when cleaning data sets. Let me just make it as a markdown. There are five principles when cleaning data. When cleaning a data set. So the first one is data.info. Second one is data.describe. The next one is data.shape. The next one is data.isNull.sum. So is it five now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 4. Remain 1. So the next one should be I think it's 4 principle, not 5. It's 4. Yeah, 4 principle. Sorry, 4 principle. So now this, let me just run this as a comment so we can see it. So now first of all, let's do data.info. You know, our variable name for our data is what? df. So we can say df.info, right? Okay, so my colleague have done this before. So now df.info will show you the columns. And we now show you the total number of counts that element appear. Like you can see now we have 1025 counts. That means the rows of that data set is 1025. And the data type, you can see d type, this particular place, d type, that's data type. Show you the type of data set it is. Like most of the data sets are in integer format, and they are in integer 64-bit. So we only have one floating point there. And so you can see data type here, we have float appear once, int appear like 13 times. So we can see there are 14 columns in the data set. So the next one is data.describe. So we can say df.describe. So what df.describe shows is it will show you the total number of counts, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum value, and the maximum value. Then the percentage in 25%, 50%, and 75%. And it is only applicable to numeric values. Let's say this type, like most of these data sets now, there's no categorical value there. Everything is numeric. So basically, everything will be calculated. So the count, like you see in info here, the count is 1025. Same thing to this place. This is the mean value, 54 point this for age. Then same thing for BPS. Then standard deviation to, then minimum value is 29, maximum is 77 percentage too. So the next one is, so let me just make it as a comment to here. Okay, as a markdown. Okay, let me make a markdown here. Markdown say, okay, data information of the data, information about the data sets. Then I can run it. Then I can say I can create a new notebook, a new note to and say, hey, sorry. You can say description of the data set. So I can run in this. I can run this. Okay, sorry, I didn't make it as a markdown. So you see, it's seen as a comment. So I'll make it as markdown. When I make it as markdown, then I run it again. See. So the next one after the description is shape. So now you can just say, let me make it as a markdown. So a markdown. df dot shape. So I can okay, this is a markdown, so I can run it also. Okay, sorry. Let me just say shape of the data set. So I can run it so. Then I can now say df dot shape. So can you see, like the rows and the column? So rows is what 1025, column is what we have 14 columns. So now we are done with, I think that's all, that's the 4. Okay, remain one. So now we want to check for null values. Null value means empty values in the data set. Okay, I'll just say checking for, let me just say checking for empty values in the data set. Okay, let me run it. Okay, so I can now say df dot to check empty value is null. Is null is saying okay, the all null values in the data set. Now dot sum. When I say sum is okay, it's going to sum, like let's say in a particular column I'm having like 20 empty values. It's going to sum everything that okay, it is 20 instead of saying 1. So if I run it now, you see, so age, it has no empty value, sex, no empty value, CP, no empty value. So this particular data set has no empty value. So we filling the data or trying to balance data set is not needed because this particular data set has no empty value. So now this is the second stage of data analytics now, because you cannot, if you do not do your data cleaning, you cannot move to exploratory data analysis. So I can now say okay, I want to do, let me just say EDA, that's what we call it. EDA is exploratory data analysis. So I'll make it as a markdown. I'm coming. Okay, I'll make it as a markdown, then I'll now run it. So this particular data set now I don't want to rush it. I'll just probably pin that at exploratory data analysis and I'll take questions. So this particular data, I said it deals with art. Then one thing in data science is when you are dealing with any particular data set, you must have a target variable. Whether your data is structured or unstructured, you must have okay, what I'm trying to get from this particular data set. So if you check this particular data set now, right from this place, they already name my target variable as target already, which is this part, target. Normally, what I'm doing is art disease data set. That's what I'm working with. So now I'm having 0 and I'm having 1. So basically, when they give you value like, or when you're dealing with something like this, 0 means non-heart disease, then 1 means heart disease. So that means 1 is heart disease, 0 is non-heart disease. So that's like our target variable. Then inside sex 2, we can see we have 1 and 0. So basically the first 0, that means attached to male, then the other one attached to female. So 0 male, 1 female. So that's like how you get it. Then now I want to know the total number of times 0 appear in my data set first, and I want to check how many times 1 appear in my data set for both male and female. So I can just say, since I've attached 0 to be male, I can just come here and say, okay, before exploratory data analysis, let me just say um let me just say markdown. Let me come here, markdown. Getting, let me just say getting, sorry, getting little insights from the data sets. Okay, so I can just come here and say, okay, my particular data set now I want to get male. So now my variable name, I'll say, okay, let me say my variable name is male. Let me say my variable name is male. I can just say, I want to know the total number of time. So I can just say len. Length means length. Okay, let calculate the total number of times that particular value appear in that column, in that rows rather. So now I can say the name of my data set, which is df. Now I'm creating like a data frame, which is df again. So now inside that data frame, I'm calling a particular column. You know, the column that carry male and female is sex. So I want to call this particular column, which is this. Don't forget, Python is case sensitive. Oh. If this S appears to be capital letter, it must be capital letter. If it appears to be small letter, it must be small letter. But right now, I cannot say it's capital or small. Or okay, I can say it's capital, it's small letter because I'm seeing it. So I'll just say, okay, I'll come here, I'll say another one here, I'll just say sex, then I'll close it here, and I can close this bracket and say equals. You know, I'm representing a value from that particular, so this particular place, this one alone is my data frame. I'm calling a particular value from this column alone, which is 0. I can just put 0 here, which is 0. Let's say inside that data set they put male, and I want to represent male as 0. I can just say this place should be what? Male instead of 0. But now it's 0. So you know, when you're dealing with numbers, you don't need to put any string. But when you're dealing with categorical or numerical value, what do they call it? Alphabet, you need string. So now 0 here, then I can close this and this now. Then if I now say, okay, let me enter and I say print the total number of male in the data set. So don't forget, the variable name is what? Male. So I'll put male here. So if I close this place now and I run it now, can you see the total number of time male? Okay, appear. Let me put appear in the data set is let me put this here, is 312. Same thing, I want to do the same thing for female. Control C, and I can say, let me create a new notebook, and I'll just paste it. So I'll just change this male to what? Female, and don't forget, okay, female. Then I'll come here and change this 0 to what? To 1. Then I can now say female. I say female. So when I run these two, see the total number of time female appear in the data set is 713. So if you add those two together, they must give you 1025. That means 1025. So that means the total rows is 1025. So that's the total number of time male appear and female appear. So I can now say, okay, let me see those value in terms of graphical representation. Like I want to represent it as a graph. So that's where exploratory data analysis comes in. So I can even say, okay, when I can just say df dot group by. So group by is you are grouping them now into what? You are grouping that your particular data set into what did they call it? Which particular column, which is sex, right? You close it again. Then you can now say, okay, close. Then you can say you've grouped the data sets now. So what you want to do is what I want to do is I've grouped the data set. I also want to count how many times 0 and 1 appear in the data set. So I can just say sex here. Then I can close it. Then I can say dot count. Now I'm counting the total number of times 0 and 1 appear in the data set. So if you close this bracket now, then you can now say then you can close this one too. Then you can say df dot group by, I think, yeah, it should work like this. df dot group by okay, sorry, it's just same thing. Let me just copy it. It's just same thing. So after I count the total number of time, I can just say, okay, come here. Then I can say dots. I want to plot a particular graph now. I can say plot kind. So this kind means which particular type of graph did I want to play? Is it bar chart? Is it histogram? Is it pictogram? But let me just use pi first. Let me just say pi. Then I can say PLT. Don't forget, I've named matplotlib as what? PLT. So I don't need to be saying matplotlib, whatever. I can just say PLT dot show. So show, that means it's showing me my result. So if I run this now, what's the error there? What's the error I'm having?
You have two closing brackets.
Yeah, it's meant to be two closing brackets actually. Abi, let me check. Okay, wait. Okay, there should be one here. I think there should be. Wait, sure. Let me just have a close look at it. Okay, that means it's coming from the first one. So df dot group by. Okay, sure. Let me just. Okay, I think you should also print something like this. I'm coming. Let me just run it first. Okay, it's still not matching. Let me go through it. Okay, there's a particular mistake here. Okay, so let me return that first one, which is this, so that it can count the whatever I want to count. Let me return it back. So as in, okay, I didn't print it. Let me print it. Let me say print. And I can end this with. So okay, so when I put print here, so it's see zero is representing male. That's why I represented it as this first before making an exploratory data analysis of it. So 0 is representing male, 1 is representing female. So you can see female takes the larger part of this pie chart, while 0 takes only the few chart. So you can also come here and say, instead of me using pi, I can say bar chart.
Hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you.
Can you please re-explain that df.group by, like I was somehow distracted when.
Okay, so df.group by is I'm trying to group them. Now I've make inside that sex data, inside that sex column, there is 0 and 1. So I'm grouping them based on 0 and 1. I want to count them like this df.group by. This df is my variable name. .group by is me grouping that sex. I'm grouping this particular sex. So now I want to count this particular one is just grouping, which is 0 and 1, which is showing this 0 and 1, showing sex. Can you see? Just grouping them into 0 and 1. Now this sex dot count is counting them, which is this value. So that's what this one is doing. Then this one now, after grouping them, I want to plot a particular graph. So that is what the second one is doing. Then PLT is matplotlib that I've called here already. As PLT. So I don't need to write matplotlib. I'll just say PLT.show. So from here, instead of me saying I can say bar chart. If I run it to come out as a bar chart, can you see? I can say histogram, I can say whatever I like, but let me leave that as bar chart. So for now, and it's going to show me the type of data type it is, which is int64. So is there any question based on what I have done before we move? Let me see if I can. I'll just use the main time to take in questions.
So that first set that come after group by is the column. You are calling on the column.
Yes.
Then the second one, you are using it to count that second one, you are using it to count it.
Yes, I'm using it to count it. Yes.
You are calling the column, then you are counting it.
I'm grouping the column like df.group by. Df is the name of the data set. Now I'm grouping sex, which is the column in the data set. Group by means group them into, if they are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to group them like that. Now, after grouping them, I want you to count them. That's what the next one is doing. So this particular place, okay, let me remove this first. This particular place is only counting sets as 0 and 1. But
Okay.
now I want to know the total number of time that stuff that you group into 0 and 1 appear. So I can just say,
Okay.
do you get? I can just say sex dot counts. Do you get? So that I can
Okay.
have. Do you understand what I'm doing now?
I understand. It means it depends, or it is dependent of what we've done already, because we've said anything that is zero is
Yes,
male,
male.
and anything that
Yes,
is it depends on that, on data cleaning we've done before.
yes. You might not repeat it. I might remove it, but I might just choose to leave it so that when you are drawing a graph like this, you might not see the actual place that line is touching. But now me showing that one is representing 713. It's very easy for someone assessing that particular file. It's okay. This graph that is above 700, okay, is 713. This graph that is above 300, okay, is 312. So it will be very easy for the person that is checking the graph to know the actual range of that graph. Do you get? Do you get?
I see.
So any other question? Let me stop sharing now. Any other question?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
What's the difference between is NA and is null?
There's no difference. There's no difference between them.
Okay, thank you.
There's no difference. Any other question? Okay, someone is requesting for the attendance. So any other question? Please go ahead if you have question.
Sorry, please. I would like you to send the page.
Yes, I will send it. I will send it after the
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And okay, you've already sent the data set to the
Yes, I
group.
have sent the data set. I will just send the file.
Okay, thank you. I another question before I go, sir.
Okay, no problem.
By
Please go ahead.
clicking on upload in the Jupyter notebook, am I to first click on the folder I want to import the file to, or I can just click upload and upload it directly, or I must put it under one folder?
If you have, let's say you are getting the data from an internet, right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Let's say you are getting the data set from an internet, definitely when you download that data set, it's going to be saved on your download on your system. So when you go to your Jupyter and you're trying to upload, okay, let me just show you for example now. Let me just share my screen again. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so let me just go back to home. Let's say I want to upload a data set now. Just look at upload. Once you click upload is going to go to your file explorer. So if you save the data set inside document, you can come to document and upload the data set. If you save the data set to pictures, you can come to pictures and upload it. If you save it to desktop, you can come to desktop and upload it. So depending on wherever you save the document, that's where you just automatically upload will take you to your file explorer. Obviously, one of
Okay,
these places where your file will be saved.
thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Sorry, do you have any other question?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I can hear you.
Okay. Please, my question is, the file that we're uploading, is it?
Yes.
I think Rama talked about that if you don't upload it to the same directory from where you're running your program, then you need to enter the complete path as URL.
Depending on the kind of data set you are working with, when you are working with an Excel or CSV data, when you are working with Excel or CSV data set, it will be saved on your file explorer. But if you are working with an image data set, you call the repository of that particular file. Doing it like this. You get?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? Question.
Where is it now? Where is it?
Okay, someone is okay. Okay, someone have replied already. So any other question? Okay, so if there's no question, I hope everyone has signed attendance. So I'll take it over from where I stopped tomorrow. I'll send this file to the WhatsApp group so everyone can access it and probably work on that exact data set to where I stopped. Then we'll continue from there tomorrow. Okay, someone wants to ask question. Did anybody want to ask question? Okay, so in the absence of no question, we'll stop the meeting here. We'll continue from there tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you very much. See you same time tomorrow. Good night, everyone.